You can hear.
Thank you very much, and I'm very thankful to ET now for organizing this GCC summit. It's an extremely important topic for the nation, for us as professionals in the industry also. I want to start off by saying that research and our own practical experience has shown that when the GCC has been set up for a cost arbitrage, the economic benefit generated by the GCC is about 6 to 8 times more than the cost arbitrage. So if, for example, you set up the GCC with an objective of 100 crores, the economic benefit is about 600 to 800 crores. A little more closer, you can hear me better now? Okay. So what I'm saying is that research shows that when you set up a GCC for a cost arbitrage purpose, and if the cost arbitrage is, let's say, 100 rupees, the economic benefit that the GCC delivers to the parent company has been shown to be 6 to 8 times, so 600 to 800. And that's an extremely important element. And with digital transformations happening, what we're seeing is headquarter companies are also thinking about creating some of these capabilities internally within GBSs or GCCs and not completely outsource. So if you see in 2013, of all the GBSs set up, 300 plus were set up across the world, 42% of them in India. The service outsourced delivery centers, they were just about 100. So 3 times more GBSs were set up than actually service delivery outsourcing centers. So the topic today is, it becomes extremely important for GBSs to provide that kind of value to the parent companies, and it's extremely crucial for that value to be quantified. So I've got a very distinguished panel over here. I'll let them introduce themselves, but maybe to my extreme left we have Vaidyanathan. Vaidyanathan is Senior Vice President and Technology Head, India Business Head for the Lululemon operations. Lululemon is an extremely exciting company with athleisure. We have Dileep, who is Senior Vice President, Executive Director for Siemens Healthineers. And then we've got Ankur Mittal to my left, who is the Senior Vice President Technology and the person in charge, Managing Director for Lowe. And let's hear their perspectives. Maybe I'll start with Vaidyanathan. Can you maybe give a little bit of an introduction of yourself, also your company, and how you have created value for the company?
Sure. So my name is Vaidyanathan Seshan, SVP for International Technology, Product Technology and India Tech Hub. So anything that is outside of North America, technology is my responsibility. So we are a 25-year-old young company in athleisure and high-end. So if you go to West, the synonym of yoga is Lululemon, just like how you call Xerox for photocopy. So that's what Lululemon is in the West. Our roots are from yoga. The black stretchy pants that is nowadays called yoga pant was invented by Lululemon. So that's the high mark, and we are on high end. We are right now in 31 countries and fast growing, as well as we have a digital presence in around 48 countries. And we are in India more as a tech hub at this point of time. So we are a brand new GCC. We have been in India for 2.5 years, and somewhere soon we will have a retail presence in India too. So that's why sometimes when we say we are Lululemon, people mistake us for Lulu Mall, and I have to tell I'm not Lulu Mall, I'm Lululemon. Now coming to how we started this. We are a very fast-growing retailer. I've been with Lululemon for 5 years. I started out in Seattle Technology Headquarters office. We are a Vancouver-based Canadian iconic company. And then we are a fast-growing company. I've been with the company for 6 years. In 6 years, our revenue has increased by 5 times. So we are one of the fastest-growing retailer in the planet. And all the business new growth comes from market acquisition, getting into new companies, creating new business values. We are a retailer as well as we manufacture our own products. So we are from product design all the way till creating of fabric to the final end product, and we sell it only in our channels. So we are not just a retailer, we are actually a vertical retailer, a manufacturer too. So our secret sauce, apart from being people, is our product. Our product is very superior. And one thing we use Lululemon India here is all our product design, let it be 3D design all the way till product visualization, 3D visualization, assortment, allocation, planning, all of that work those are our secret sauce. We use a heavy AI/ML model in that. We work with academia on those algorithms, and all those things are done here. In our international expansion, last year we opened our stores and digital property in Spain, Thailand, and many other countries. And entire go live for those digital properties as well as store properties happen from India. So India is leading the growth of Lululemon internationally, and our fastest growing market is APAC in China, and we support those markets in region in that time zone from Lululemon India Tech Hub.
Fantastic. I think one of the things that was exciting about Lululemon is that it doesn't give discounts. There are zero discounts, so they got to get the pricing absolutely right, and they got to get the product supply chain absolutely right, and I think that's getting driven from the technology hub in India. Dileep, if I were to ask you, you are from Siemens Healthineers at the forefront of innovation and kind of product development and all of that. Can you really introduce yourself, what you do in Siemens and how you're leveraging the India Center for greater innovation from here to the world?
So we're not as young as 25-year-old. We're about 100+-year-old. Very young in terms of technology. There's a young technology that we're trying to develop. We are Healthineers. We call ourselves Healthineers, which is health engineers. So globally, we are over 22 billion euro company, which is focused on pioneering breakthroughs for everyone, everywhere in healthcare. So this is something that has been the focus of the company, and India has become a very strong ingredient of all the technology that gets developed across. Last 30 years, the teams in Bangalore have created some of the outstanding technologies across the world. In 30 years, we have grown in numbers, we have grown in value, we have grown in creating impact. So what has changed actually in the last 5 to 10 years, I would say, has been hockey stick economy, where the technology has changed to a point where access to healthcare has become the biggest importance globally. Because as you see, still the 50% of the world is really having the challenge in accessing healthcare. There's a huge issue in getting right amount of healthcare access, whether it is equipment or proximity to technology, proximity to the skill. So that has become a huge challenge. And secondly, I think the technology has changed. We talk AI, ML, and today Gen AI have created the future of technology, which was adopted by multiple industries very quickly, but healthcare is very different. Healthcare brings in a factor of human eye, and here is where we excel. As a part of development center in India, where we have over 3,500 people working on the future of healthcare to make healthcare accessible to different parts of the world. We are looking at creating technologies that makes diagnostic easier, therapy easier, prediction easier, and these are varying in diseases from cancer to stroke to cardiovascular. And the impact is so huge, and India's importance is so huge, that Siemens Healthineers today is investing over 200 million euros to build a new campus, innovation hub, which is going to be the future development of technologies for developing and developed world, both from here to all of it. That's what we are.
I think that's something that deserves a clap, and it deserves, because it's in India that the innovation center of this magnitude is getting set up, which provide services across the world and maybe even help in terms of health equity. Ankur, if you were, Lowe's has been in India for some time. As you transition from an operational focus to a more strategic focus, can you just take us through your journey over here?
Sure. First of all, thank you for having me over here. Just to introduce Lowe's. Lowe's is a $86 billion retailer, around 102 years old company. We have close to 1,740 stores. On an average, the store size is 120,000 square feet, slightly bigger than a football ground. We have close to 300,000 employees in the stores and around 15,000 employees in our corporate buildings. Lowe's India Center was started 10 years back, and earlier the idea was to insource some of the work from the vendor partners to 24/7 kind of development and those kind of things. We took a pivot last 5 years back, and we said that how about having Lowe's India as a capability center in terms of owning the capabilities, owning the entire application of capabilities globally. So today, if I look at it, a lot of capabilities, for example, the checkout for point of sale, search, offer.com, order management, merchandising systems, price and promotions, all of these things are owned by a leader who is working in India. Just to give you some more idea about the scale is close to 50% of Lowe's technology team, which is around 3,500 people, are based out of India. But 70% of the Lowe's engineers are based out of India. So we have a lot of field services team and call center kind of work which is happening in the US. I'll give you one more example, what we did in the last couple of years. So we were having self-checkout in our stores, and those were not deployed in all these stores because they were not very stable, not very user-friendly. So we developed our own self-checkout. And we developed using the commodity hardware with our own device management. And then we deployed those self-checkout in our stores, and now those are rolled out to all 1,740 stores. The impact it created is that prior to our own self-checkout, when we were using third-party self-checkout, 25% of the transaction used to go through the self-checkout. As I speak today, 59% of the transaction goes through the self-checkout. When we grew in the last 4 years from $63 billion company to $86 billion company, we didn't have to make a single dollar investment in store payment. So that is the kind of work which Lowe's India has created. Give you another example. There is something called Lululemon, which is Lowe's One Roof Media Network. It's an advertising business. It was conceived in Lowe's India 4 years back. And for the last 3 years, it is the fastest growing media network in the United States, hitting almost $100 million. And we did entire thing, business, product, engineering, everything from India. Once it became $5 million business, then we started hiring people in the US. So I think idea was to not look at only the things which your headquarters is telling you to do, but look at the things which you can do it much beyond what we have been asked to do.
So proactively going back to the headquarters and kind of positioning some of the solutions and innovations that we can deliver from here. So I think post COVID period, you had a significant amount of digital, uptick across our parent companies, and then that led to services being rendered out of GCCs. And Dileep, you talked about the hockey stick effect of technology. Today, the most important agenda item seems to be artificial intelligence and Gen AI and all of that. And that has a potential of transforming not just businesses but also operating models. So if I were to ask you, Dileep, what would be the, what would you see GCCs supporting your parent companies in terms of artificial intelligence, and how do you think value could be incrementally delivered?
This is a great question. I think artificial intelligence has created a huge impact. I think operational efficiencies, the creating insights, there are many more areas where it is creating impact. I'll give one example, how this is being utilized today. Coming from India. See, if you look at today, when a patient gets tested for certain diseases, when you scan a patient, in India you will find it very easy that the scan gets read by someone and you get the diagnosis done pretty quickly in many, many cases. But if you go to some of the countries in Europe, in UK, where a person gets a scanning done, for the reading to be done by a doctor, qualified doctor, takes anywhere between 6 to 8 weeks. So for 6 to 8 weeks, if there is a patient who is having a severe cancer, third stage or fourth stage, he will have to wait for that long. And this is creating a huge challenge. And it is also because of lack of skill availability. And what is being done is we are looking at AI to help in reading, creating insights about all the scanning, not just the scanning, but also all the reports, and providing those insights to the clinician. If there is a normal ones, they get to go very quickly. Like there are abnormal ones, they get actually surface outputs, so that people can make the decision faster. So AI is helping in a big way to create the insights. And these are going to really create a huge impact in the future, because we expect the healthcare industry to have by 2030 nearly 10 million shortage of healthcare workers across the world. And this can be only filled through technology. And that's why we created a new group called the Technology Enabled Services, digitally enabled services, which will actually make an impact in the future.
So this is brilliant. And if we were to extend AI to e-commerce, and Vaidyanathan, the biggest growth in Lululemon is through channels that is e-commerce, whether in the US market or outside. So how are you seeing the future of GCC, the center that you have, in terms of enabling that kind of growth?
Sure. One of the big reasons why we came to India is the talent. What I find here is, so I have a global team. I have teams in Hong Kong, China, UK, as well as Seattle, Vancouver. Said that, I won't say that there, but I'll say it here, is I find the aspirational crowd in India is amazing. There is an aspiration. They want to be the world class. And that thing, that hunger, I don't see in any part of the world now. And I've been in US for the last 25 years, and now I've come back for good in India. So I see that aspiration, and due to which forming a culture of innovation has become very easy for us in India. And that's what I love about working in India and hiring in India. Said that, learning new talent, updating yourself with what's happening in the technologies is coming default for our engineers in India. And it's a big deal in other parts of the world. It's very common here. So said that, one thing we have done in India is we came here not for cost arbitrage. We had all the mistakes that Lowe's and all of that, we learned from it. So since being a new player, we came here only for our growth, not for cost arbitrage. Cost is a byproduct that we get, and it's not something we focus on. We are focusing on growth, creating new capabilities. Everything new and efficiency is created through AI and ML, right? So let it be e-commerce. Now, one good thing we have is we have the customer data, we have the product data, all this. So customer-centric merchandising that we want to do. As you said, we are a full-price retailer, and we thrive on scarcity. In a way, like our good selling product is out of business in 8 months, and we bring a new product, new innovation. Our fabrics are innovation. Now, even for those innovation, we use AI/ML, and all those product design, fabric. We have fabrics called Science of the Feel. You want to feel ugly in your Lululemon stretchy pant? There is a fabric for that too. And all that thing, we use AI/ML. We use AI/ML in our all product designs. So every product is touched by an engineer in India, and then planning for that. Now let it come to e-commerce. One thing, since we know our guests very well, we know what they use, the products are sold only in our channels, we exactly know what their likes, dislikes, size, color, all those things, right? So in terms of how we get our DCs, how we get inventory into our DCs, what colors, what size, which region, all those things are happening through these algorithms. And yes, post-COVID, we have been continuing to grow. In fact, our growth was very high during COVID because people focused on wellness. We want people to be in that preventive care before they go into a doctor. So that's what we play in. And COVID got that wellness, fitness more into it. So we offer content in our websites as well as other places. And we integrate that together. And in terms of marketing, personalization, again, we use that product data, guest data, cater everything to what a customer is looking for, and all our buys are based on that.
Well, thank you for that. And if I were to look at, you've looked at both sides of the business, one in terms of it growing and one in terms of it maturing. What leadership lessons do you have which enable you to get a bigger seat at the table with the parent company?
I think the first and foremost thing is to hire the right talent. 5 years back, we decided that we are going to heavily invest in our talent and leadership. Just to give you a ballpark number, we have grown our leadership 8 times in the last 5 years. The enterprise architecture VP makes all the decision about build versus buy, if it is buy, what to buy, if it is build, how to build and what to build. Is from India, has spent 5 years in Amazon, 5 years Walmart, 5 years Target, and now is going to complete 5 years in Lowe. So those are the kind of people we hire. So first, invest in talent. Second is whatever you execute or whatever you deliver at the top-notch level. Because that's where you build the trust, that's where you start getting more and more things coming on your way. Third and most important thing I feel is to build the advocacy with the executive team who are there in the headquarters. So we have very, very strong advocacy towards Lowe's India Center from CEO, CHRO, CIO, CFO, everybody. Just to give you an example, 100% of private brand packaging designs happens from India. 90% of the planograms and floor plans happens from India. Now that kind of work, you want to do it, you really have to have a very strong trust and advocacy coming in from your senior leadership from US.
So hire the right team, have trust, collaboration, and engagement with the leadership team. If I were to very quickly, maybe in 10 seconds, Vaidyanathan, if there's a newly minted GCC leader or a global process owner, what would be the advice you would give them, just in 10 seconds?
I think focus on the culture, your company culture. You need to build your unique culture here. And that's the best way to psychologically change that. When an executive walks from a Seattle or Vancouver to Bangalore, they should feel this is the same office, this is the same people, they speak the same language. So for us, culture has been very high. I think culture is number one. You need to invest and add the Indian culture secret sauce to that.
Be a risk taker. Don't be afraid of failure. This is what makes us great. The way you stop being afraid of failure, start taking risks. Most successful cases.
I think from this note, maybe I had a conversation with GCC leaders, and he said that when a center is opened in Israel, it's called an innovation center. But when a center is opened in India, it's called a capability center. So I think, have the right talent, take risks, have a great culture, but also in terms of rebranding, in terms of elevating the work we do, in terms of engaging globally with more collaboration. I think those are the secrets in terms of how GCCs are going to play out in the next future. Very exciting times. I want to thank each member of the panel, and I want to thank the audience for patiently listening to us. Thank you very much.